Thursday. I'm here for the weekend for work. Got a little bit of time today, and I figured I'd find a new spot, try to catch some fish. So came down to a park I found on Google Maps. I'm gonna be fishing this little pond that's behind me. Doesn't look too promising. It's basically just a regular little rectangle, not too much structure, and I'm gonna guess that it's probably pretty highly pressured. We'll see what we can get. I already got one of these things tied on from my last video if you watch that. Just a little cream frisky frog on a small jig head. Gonna be fishing that to start out. Hopefully I get something. If not, I got a whole bunch of stuff with me. I'll switch over to something else, but let's give it a shot, see what happens. All right, so like I mentioned, not a lot of structure. On this one corner, I did find some of these bushes, so we'll start out over here. Seems like this lake or pond, whatever you want to call it, it's only about maybe an acre and a half, so fairly small. But hopefully I can get something. Haven't caught a fish in Orlando yet. All right, so I was fishing it fairly slowly on the bottom. Got nothing except a whole bunch of grass coming up with it. So I'm gonna try going a little bit quicker here. Maybe that'll entice him a little bit better. Oh. Got my first bite. Looked like a small largemouth. Missed the hook set though. It's a good sign though. This faster retrieve might be working a little bit better. Is that a fish? Oh, that was a fish. Come on now. Two misses in a row. You know what? My frog's a little bit beat up. I'm gonna switch this, put a new soft plastic on here. I'm gonna hope that does the job. All right, so I didn't really pay attention when I bought these jig heads, but they've got this giant little spine right here. And I mean, I'm sure that's made to keep the bait on a little bit better. But what I noticed it's been doing is just ripping a hole in the top of the lure really, really quickly. And kind of making the soft plastic useless so it keeps falling off. Like, that is way too big for this. So it'll stay on pretty well, but as soon as the fish bites, it'll rip a hole in it. But hopefully we can get something on this, because I had two fish bite it. Unfortunately, no hookups yet. So let's get our first fish here in Orlando. There we go, that's a fish. And that's not a fish anymore. It was a little largemouth. Not having too much luck today. I haven't been here that long, but I don't have that much time out here either. Got 3 bites. That was my first hookup. Tiny largemouth, lost it anyway. There we go. That's our first solid bite. Still on. Come on, guy. What do we got? Bluegill. Alrighty. I think that's our first hit from a bluegill. I missed a couple bass earlier. Nothing huge, but nice sized fish to start us off. Alright, I'll get this guy back and I'll keep making my way around this little lake. Alright, so that was nice. After I lost, I don't know, 2 or 3 little bass, nice to finally get a fish in to get us started here. Covered about maybe a quarter of the, oh, there's another one. And I think it's off. Oh, that's what's going on. All right, so I had another hit there, but it was a tiny, tiny bluegill. Might have been 4 inches. So maybe that's what's going on. I'm getting a good amount of hits, but they're all way too small to actually even get the hook in their mouths. Like that. That was another small one. Just gotta hope I can weed through those little ones, maybe get something a little bit bigger. That one bluegill so far was nice. That's a fish. Not putting up much of a fight. What do we got? Can't tell yet. Another bluegill? Think so. Yeah. Oh, this one engulfed that frog. You can't even see it anymore. But fish number 2 is another nice bluegill. All right, let's get this guy back. We'll keep fishing. All right, that was another hit. So I'm definitely not going to include all of them in this video because this would make it way too long. But I've had, I don't know, probably 20 hits at least today, maybe 30, on this same little soft plastic frog. Only caught 2 bluegill. So I'm pretty sure all of these fish are way too small because I've seen a couple of them and they were maybe little 4-inch bluegills. So I don't think their mouth's big enough to get around the hook part. They're probably just biting the tail off. And then if I show you this in a second, you'll see what I'm talking about. So if you look at the back of this soft plastic, got beat up pretty well. The little back legs here got completely torn off. So I'm pretty sure these are all just small fish. They're biting the back of this part of the legs, pulling at it. So I'm feeling the bite, but they're not actually big enough to get around the hook part. So I'll fish this for a few more minutes, but I think I'll switch over to whatever the smallest lure is in my bag right now. I don't even know if I brought any smaller stuff with me. But hopefully I can get some more fish instead of just getting a whole bunch of bites without much to show for it. All right, switched over to a little beetle spinner, probably my favorite lure of all time. So this is 1/32 ounce instead of 1/16 like that frog was, and the actual soft plastic is a little bit smaller. So I'm hoping maybe the fish can get their mouths around this guy, especially the ones that couldn't around that frog. So we'll fish the rest of this little lake here. I'm about halfway down, and we'll see if we can grab some more fish out of here. All right, so made it down to the other end of the lake. Got 0 hits on the beetle spin, but came down here, found this nice little, actually pretty big patch of lily pads. I think I could probably pick at least one more out out of here. Don't think it's going to come on the beetle spin though. Might switch over to the frog because I did have a lot of action on that. Maybe even something else completely, but we'll see. All right, the frog is back on. There's got to be a fish somewhere around these lily pads. I wish I could cast a little bit further, but there's got to be a fish somewhere around here that's going to take a bite out of this, just like those other fish did earlier. And I did get a ton of action on this, even though my hookup ratio was so small. All right, so I'm basically back right where I started. Had maybe 1 hit on the frog in my last really half lap up and down here. So disappointing day. Oh, was that a fish? I think that was a fish. Might have had another hit here. But kind of a disappointing day. Didn't really know what to expect, this being a new lake, and it didn't look promising. But after I had all that early action, I thought I was going to land a lot more than those 2 fish. I'll fish here for a couple more minutes, and I'll come back with a wrap up. Oh yeah, let me get this guy in. I sure hope I get this fish. I've been meaning to call it a day now for a while. This would make my day, whatever it is. Probably another bluegill, can't see it. Yep. Another bluegill, 3rd one for the day. Oh, no, 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 come here, dude. Not gonna lose this one. All right, little beat up, didn't even get a picture of it, but this is my last fish. I'm gonna let this guy go. This has been a tough little lake to fish in, but I got three bluegill. That guy took off. Now I'll be back with the wrap up. All right, so I am gonna wrap it up. Hope the wind isn't too bad now. It hasn't been too bad throughout the video, but this was a tough little day of fishing. Was out here for about 2 hours. Only one side of this lake is fishable. Made a lap up and down. This little frog worked really well, or as well as it probably could have. My first stretch going down, about halfway through, I had 20-30 bites, tons of action. All the fish were just too small. A couple times I saw what bit, and it was just a little sunfish that big, little bluegill. So it wasn't big enough to get its mouth around the entire hook. We're just grabbing at the legs here, which obviously you can't hook a fish if it doesn't bite the hook. Did get 2 bluegill, lost another largemouth, but it was a small one, less than a foot. Switched over to the beetle spinner, thought that might work. Didn't get any action on that. Switched back to this thing, and the action was a lot slower. Managed one nice bluegill, another, I don't know, 7-8 incher here at the end, right where I first started. Talked to one other guy. He was wacky rig fishing a worm. He said he got 3 bass, but still only small ones. He said nothing bigger than a foot. I kind of knew it was going to be a tough day right when I first got here. So there's a sign by the parking lot. Gives you the regulations for the lake, and usually most bodies of water you just got to follow the state regulations. So I think in Florida, it's either, for bluegill at least, it's either 25 or 50 fish and no size limit. I don't really keep fish, so I'm not positive. But here are the limits. Bluegill, I don't know how many you can keep, I don't remember, but they have to be 12 inches, and a 12-inch bluegill is huge. All right, I don't even know if I've ever caught a 12-inch bluegill in my life. Bass, all got to be released right away. And then channel catfish, you can only keep them if they're over 30 inches. And again, 30-inch catfish, that's a big one. So whenever you see those kind of rules on a lake, it's usually because that lake is highly pressured, sees a lot of action. So the fish, one, they're not going to go for lures too much because they're used to them. They know what they look like. And two, a lot of people probably fish here, so a lot of things get fished out and taken out of the water. So I knew it was going to be a tough day kind of right when I first pulled up. Still had high hopes because anytime you're fishing a new body of water, it's always fun to me, kind of explore the body of water, see what's out there, see how to fish it. But yeah, 3 bluegill, so can't say I'm upset, but also not very happy. So this outro is getting a little long. I hope you guys liked it. Might be able to bring you one more video from Orlando. I'm not sure if I'll have the time though. If not, either way, I'll see you guys next time.